everyone, I'm Paul the Nitro Corner, and welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner. Glad that you could join us. This week will be a unique week for us, as I will tackle this week's topic, which is the latest PWI poll, which is the Pro Wrestling Illustrated poll. I'm going to answer 5 questions out of the PWI poll and where you can get your copy. And then, most recently, I was sent a video from an anonymous video from the president of People Power, the Greater Delaware Division, and I'll be showing that after the presentation of the Nitro Corner, and I'll explain all that in just a little bit. But let's get right to this week's topic. Most recently, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and I have it right here in my hands, released their new PWI poll. You can pick up your latest issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated with the PWI poll on the cover at all local newsstands right now. It is a tremendous poll, and it certainly gives you the pulse of professional wrestling. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to reveal all the questions and all the answers, especially all the answers to the poll. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 questions out of here and give you my response to them and why. If you want the results, all you have to do is pick up your copy at the newsstands everywhere right now. Let's take a look here. Let me select 5 questions for you. Okay, here we go. First question in the PWI poll. Whom are you most concerned about? As far as I'm concerned, there's got to be a couple people that I would be concerned about, both outside the ring as well as inside the ring. I would give Scott Hall a definite vote on that. I mean, anyone seen the ESPN 60 special on Scott Hall, the story on Scott Hall, it is very, very concerning to everyone else. I would give some concern to anyone that gets severely injured, like for instance, like the Dynamite Kid. How's he doing? He's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of the bumps he took outside his career. You got people like China, who's now involved in the adult film industry. If she does well, that's fine. If there's a problem because of drugs and drug use, I think she should get some help with that. So those are the people I'm kind of most concerned about as far as I'm concerned. So that was a pretty interesting question. Okay, moving on to another question. Question number 2. Let's see here. Oh, here's an interesting one. Who is wrestling's sexiest woman? Not to give away any of the answers to that, but my response would be Velvet Sky. She is, of course, my homegirl. Man, she is just pure, unadulterated sexy as far as I'm concerned. One of her biggest fans right here. Velvet Sky is my pick for sexiest woman in professional wrestling. No doubt about it. That was a good question as well. There's plenty of good questions in this PWI poll this year. Moving on now. Oh, here's a good one. Would you pay as much as $15 monthly to have a WWE network that included all pay-per-views except WrestleMania, SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, and the Survivor Series? And this is a yes or no question. My answer would be no. If you're going to have the WWE Network, which I hope will be released this year, sometime, please, then you should include WrestleMania, SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, and the Survivor Series. I mean, if you're going to have to jack up the price a little bit to maybe like $20 to $30 a month, that's fine. I can understand the marquee of all 4 of these events, but if you're excluding them and charging regular prices, then why are you having a WWE network without those 4 marquee pay-per-views? So my answer is no. You need to add them on there. Okay, moving on now. That was 3 questions. Moving on now to another good question here. Let's see here. There's some pretty interesting ones in here. It's hard to find out. Oh, here's a good one. Question number 4. Assuming WWE continues its current pay-per-view model, should the Elimination Chamber be axed? Yes or no? Yes. What is the purpose of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? You're only getting what? 3 matches, including 2 Elimination Chamber matches in those 3 matches? Really, that is not a pay-per-view. Go ahead and eliminate that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view and just go right into WrestleMania. If you want an Elimination Chamber match, why don't you put it on national television for the whole world to see? Devote an entire hour to it. That would be very interesting. But eliminate the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Really, there's no need for it. And now, the big question that's in this poll, and I'm going to answer it right now. Here we go. Who is, pound for pound, the best wrestler in the world? Well, there's 2 of them, actually. CM Punk is one, and Robert Roode is the other one. Why? They're respective champions. Even though I don't agree with Robert Roode's tactics, you got to admit, Robert Roode is the anchor right now in TNA and has really stepped up his game as the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk, meanwhile, is an outstanding wrestler with absolutely tremendous promos. He knows how to get over with the fans, and he backs up his words with action inside the ring. So those are 2 of my picks for best pound-for-pound wrestler in the world. Well, that was just a sampling of the PWI poll. As I mentioned before, you can pick up your latest copy of Pro Wrestling Illustrated featuring all 50 questions in the PWI poll. It is available now at your local newsstands everywhere. Now that that's out of the way, let me talk about this anonymous video. I was sent this copy of this video on Thursday. It is being played tonight at the request of the president of People Power for the Delaware division. I will not reveal his name. I will not be involved in this. So I will play the video in fairness, but this video is not affiliated whatsoever with the Nitro Corner, the WWE, WWE.com, TNA.com, or YouTube.com. These opinions are those of whoever's in charge of People Power Incorporated in the Delaware division. So I'll play that, and I'll end this week's edition of the Nitro Corner. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next week, I'm Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long everybody.